Hello everyone, welcome back to another Middle-earth strategy battle game, battle report. Obviously due to the lockdown, I've been unable to finish off my league game yet, so once that's all done I'll put a video up for that. And obviously due to lockdown can't go out to play anyone or get anyone to come in, and I have been using FaceTime to play Flames of War, but it's a bit tricky to do that with Lord of the Rings since it's very fiddly. But the unexpected has happened. My wife has agreed to play a game with me, so don't know what repercussions that will have in the end. You never know, we might see her down Firestone for tournaments. I doubt that, mind. I'll be using Rangers of Ithilien. We're doing a 450 point game because that's a really small game and we won't have to play it as long, so we're going to keep it to an hour and a half of gameplay, and that will keep my wife reasonably happy. So, my list, Rangers of Ithilien, 450 points, is led by Faramir, and in his warband are 6 Rangers of Gondor and 9 Rangers of Gondor with Spear. Second warband is led by Madril, and that is a warband of 8 Rangers of Gondor with Spear and 4 Rangers of Gondor with no equipment. And the last warband is led by Damrod, and he has 4 Rangers with Spear and 2 regular Rangers. And that is my list, quite sizable, and I've not used Rangers of Ithilien before and I've always wanted to use them, so here's a chance. This is my wife's 450 point list of Thranduil's Halls. First warband is led by Legolas with no additional equipment, and he is leading a warband of 12 Mirkwood Elves, 4 have shields, 4 have elven glaives, and 4 have elf bows. Second warband is led by Tauriel, and she has a warband of 4 Mirkwood Rangers and a Mirkwood Elf Sentinel. She has also been given an elf bow as well, and that is the 450 point list for Thranduil's Halls, and we are playing Destroy the Supplies mission, which I've not played before either, so testing a few new things for me today. So we have deployment. Jen and her elves have deployed on this side. There's an objective by here, in this corner ruin, and over here, and basically she's got a split, so Tauriel and the Rangers are over here and Legolas and the Mirkwood Elves are over by here. Can't see many of my objectives because there are men on top of it, so one objective is here and Damrod's warband is looking after it. Then we have Faramir sitting on top of one objective here with his warband, and Madril is doing the same. So we are on to turn 1 and we're rolling for priority. We are rolling for priority. So I get a 3. And Jen gets a 1. So I get priority turn 1. We're going to be using the Tree of Gondor to represent the Rangers and the Eye of Sauron for the Elves. Right, so here's my movement. Damrod's warband is pushed up along with Faramir's and Madril's. These Rangers are staying still, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so these Rangers are staying still and the Mirkwood Elves have moved. You can go and move them now if you want.
Yeah, I do want to move them.
Okay, right, we'll summarise that. So there we go, that's where they ended up. Everyone has moved full this turn, so no shooting, so we're going into priority again. Got a 3. Jen's got a 4, so we've got priority for the elves. So Jen has moved up the Mirkwood Rangers full 6 inches. She has remained stationary with most of her archers over here, apart from one who had to go into base contact, so she's looking to do some shooting. My ones are pushed up. All the ones with blue dice have moved half, so they're going to be shooted at their moving rate of fire. And now we're going into shooting for the elves first. In the shooting, we've all fired, and Jen's the only one who managed to take a kill on a ranger, and it was Legolas who did the job. So we're going into turn 3 and we have priority to roll. I get a 4. Jen gets a 5, so it remains priority for the elves. So the elves have all moved half to this tree line, so Tauriel is right behind this tree here, so I can't see her because of her elven cloak. All the Mirkwood elves over here have moved their full distance, going towards the centre here. So with my counter movement, Damrod and his rangers didn't move. Faramir and his rangers have scattered about a place, and some of Madril's warband are moving to the centre as well. So we're going into shooting. In shooting, I have still failed to wound or kill anything. Meanwhile, Jen has managed to kill Damrod. So we're going into priority for turn 4, and I get a 3, and Jen gets a 5. So it's priority again for the elves. So the Ranger warband is all pushed up half their movement. Across for them, these rangers haven't moved. The sentinel did try to sing their Eldra Madrigal, and I passed my courage test for my ranger, so it's okay. These rangers have all remained stationary while these ones have moved full towards the objective. These elves are all pushing in, and more elves over here, and they're being countered by the rangers in the woods as well. So we're going into shooting again. So in the shooting, Jen managed to kill 2 more rangers from this group here. Pretty much fired everything into Legolas. I took 1 wound off him and he has lost all his fate. So 1 more and he's dead. So we're going into priority for turn 5 and I get a 3. Jen gets a 4. So it remains in the hands of the elves. So in the movement, Tauriel and the Sentinel have moved up, and these have moved across as well to defend the objective. I have 3 rangers currently on the objective, so if nothing happens, I'll destroy 1. Legolas is slowly moving into the centre, and I got a few guys to try and stop him. Well, we will have some combats over here this turn. Got a few guys onto some exposed elves over here, managed to take away 1 archer, so only 1 can fire over here, and I have 2 archers that can lay down some cover fire and clip the guy on the end. So luckily managed to stop the elves having support, but they're still better fight value than me, so it could go messy. So going into shoot. So in the shooting, the elves have dropped 3 more rangers. With my shooting though, I have killed a ranger, an elf ranger, and more importantly I have killed Legolas. And Faramir managed to hit Tauriel with and wounded her with the help of a point of might, and she used 3 points of fate to avoid a wound. So the fate's not going very well for the elves this game. So now we're going into combat, and what I'll do, I'll get the tripod out so we can film it. So here we have our combats. We have a combat here with 1 elf against 3 rangers, and then we have another one with an elf against 2 rangers. So which one do you want to do first? The 2-on-1 or the 3-on-1? It's 3-on-1 because of my spear support here, and this Mirkwood elf is not in base contact, so you can't support.
3-on-1.
So we're doing the 3-on-1. So 3-on-1, I grab my dice, and I get a 4 high. So that's my roll, and Jen has 1 dice to roll. And she gets a 6. So my guys back away 1 inch, and Jen, you make a strike, so you are strength 3 against my defense 4, which will be a 5. And she gets another 6. So do you want the guy with the spear or the sword to die?
Sword.
Okay, it's gone. Right, that could have gone a bit better. So next fight we have 2 rangers against 1 elf, and I get a 5 high, and Jen gets a 1. So this one's going to push back to make way, and then I am going to need 5s to wound, and I get double 5. So that is that elf gone with the glaive. And that concludes our fighting. So now we're going to roll for priority, and I get a 3 again, and Jen gets a 5. So priority for the elves again. Before we get into the movement, this objective gets destroyed in the end phase because they moved into base contact and they did nothing. So that's one objective down for me, and then we're going into turn 6. So movement, Tauriel and Sentinel have remained still. Elmar Madrigal didn't work again, tried to do it on Faramir, but he has got quite a bit of courage. These rangers have changed their mind and have started moving around here. The elves are starting to push in to here again, and I decided not to put my my ranger into combat because it's probably better for him to stay out and just shoot because the odds are against him. My 2 rangers are in here, have jumped through the windows, and we have again more combats. So Jen charged into my rangers, and I have gone back at her, splitting off as many combats. So basically I outnumber the elves in every combat here, but it doesn't matter because their fight value is much better than mine, so we'll see how it goes. So shooting first. So with shooting, a few more rangers of Gondor are getting picked off by here, but I have managed to kill 2 Mirkwood elves with my rangers at this side, so some shooting, so it's going back and forth, but it's not so uneven for the men of Gondor at the moment. So we're going into combat again over here. And Jen again will be splitting the combats because she's phasing player. So this turn we've got 3 combats. We've got a 3 onto 1 here, a 2 onto 1 here, and a 2 onto 1 here. So do you want to do this one first, Jen? Mm-hmm. So Jen has 1 dice and I have 2. Jen gets a 5, so I need a 6 to win. And I get a 5 and a 2. So Jen wins, and it will be a 5 to kill. Jen gets a 3. So next one now we have another 2 onto 1. So I get a 2 high and Jen gets a 3. So which one do you want to go for? This one or this one? Okay, 5 to kill. No, a 3. And then we have our 3 onto 1. So the reason I'm not fainting in this combat because it would actually be a stab because my fight value is lower. And that would mean that if I lost, I would take a hit before Jen even strikes against me. So I'm not going to risk that with my rangers. So 3 dice, and I get a 4 high, and Jen gets a 5. So which one would you like to go for? So it's this one or this one. Okay, so a 5 to kill. And Jen gets a 3. So all those combats backfired, but at least I didn't lose anyone. So again, we're going into priority, and I get a 4. And Jen gets a 5. So I'm still enjoying no priority this game. So priority for Mirkwood Rangers again. In the movement phase, Jen tried to move her elves around to try and get away. But I've countercharged them with about 4 rangers, but I've left 1 elf archer to do its own thing. Although I just realised it can shoot at me unless Jen moved 6 inches. Did you move 6? I think you did with these lot. Yeah, so you can't shoot anyway. So I peeled off about 3 rangers to go over here for this objective. My 2 over here got spotted by some Mirkwood elves, so I've countercharged one of the archers to try and protect him. Again, another archer got charged by one of my rangers, so no shooting on this side of the board. These guys are still staying still, try and pick off some more elves out of combat. Same here, rangers being charged, and Faramir is trying to hide as best he can, while Tauriel and the Sentinel move around. Okay, so here we go into shooting. No success for the elves this turn for shooting, but I did manage to take away another Mirkwood elf here, but it did take about 7 shots to do it. So for combat, we're going to do all the combats across the board, and then we're going to go back to these 2 here and see what happens. So far in the combats, elves have won most of them, but no kills. I did win a fight with my 2 rangers against a Mirkwood ranger. Jen rolled a 1, and then I rolled a 1 and a 2, so it was very close, but then I did kill the ranger, since they're very squishy. So we're going to go into these combats here. We have, both of them are 2 onto 1s in my favour, so which one do you want to go first? Do you want to go the one closest to you, or closest to me?
Closest to me.
Okay, so, because he's got a glaive, you can shield, which means you roll 2 dice, but if you win, you don't go to wound me, so it's up to you.
Okay, how
So if you win, you don't wound me. But if you fight normally with 1 dice and you win, then you have a chance to kill one of my guys.
I do 2.
Okay, so Jen is shielding and I'm fighting normally. And I get a 4 and a 4, and Jen gets 5 and a 1, so they get knocked back. And then this one is just going to be a straight up 2 onto 1 because you don't have a glaive, so just 1 dice for you. Jen gets a 2, and I get a 6 and a 5, so he gets pushed back. And then I need 5s to kill, and I get a 6 and a 4. So there you go. So that combat phase went very well for me, so now we're going into priority, and hopefully I can get it for once. And I get a 2. And Jen gets a 3. So the Mirkwood Elves still have priority. So in the movement, Tauriel and Sentinel are moving over towards this objective. Eldra Madrigal failed again, unfortunately. Jen, with a bit of advice to me, she charged her ranger into base contact with both my rangers so she can get an extra dice. These rangers are moving to protect their objective. These guys remain still. These guys as well. Madril and his friend have moved over to cover my objective because one of the elves has managed to break away while another one is surrounded. My ranger trying to go for Jen's objective has been caught by a Mirkwood elf, so I've moved another ranger to help him out while 3 more go for the objective. And Jen has kept her archers stationary, and this elf is trying to protect the archer from being in combat. So there we have it, and we're going into shooting again, and again the elves are firing first. So shooting was brilliant, no one killed anything, so quite a few more combats over this way. So we will do this one last because that has got a bit of interesting things to do with it, and we've got all the other combats over here to do, so we'll come back to this one. So the results for combats have gone my way again. The elf with 4 onto 1 shielded and beat them all off, and then the one with 2 rangers onto 1 Mirkwood elf lost, and I rolled a 6 to kill. So we're going here. I got 3 rangers onto 1 Mirkwood ranger, and to the knife fighters rule, Jen gets 2 dice because she's in base contact with 2 enemy models. So Jen has 2, and of course if she rolls a 6, she wins the fight. She rolls a 5 high, so I roll 3 dice, and I get a 5. So I lose, and these guys back away. And Jen, you will need 5s to kill.
Which
2 dice. And she's got 1, so which one do you want to kill? This one or this one?
that one.
Okay, so we have a kill. So we're going to priority again, so the odds are I should get it this time, and I get a 3 again. Go on. And Jen gets a 6. So again, it's priority for the elves. So in this turn, Jen is pushing a lot more for the objectives. Tauriel is in combat and the Sentinel is in combat, so I've had to counter-charge with a spear support. Same with this ranger here. These elves are giving up on the centre and are moving through. So I've positioned it so Madril can cover fire these guys going in. This elf is getting dangerously close to my objective as well. This guy is going to get surrounded quite a few times. I do have a ranger on the objective who will destroy it this turn, and then the rest of the rangers are trying to mop up here. And Faramir has decided to go into combat with a spear support, so he's just 1 onto 1. So hopefully it'll go well, and I won't end up getting Faramir killed again. He has 2 points of might left, so we'll see how that goes. So going into shooting for the elves first again. So the elves only had 1 shot, which they missed, and I managed to kill 2 more elves. So the elves will be broken at the beginning of the next turn because they are 13 dead. It was 12 to break. So that is not the end criteria for the game. It is 25% for that, but at least the elves will be doing courage tests. But the problem is their courage is really good anyway. So we're going into combat. We've got a fair few, so we'll do Tauriel's last or first. Depends, Jen, do you want to call a hero combat at all? So if you did a hero combat with Tauriel and she killed that ranger, she'd have another 6 inches of movement. Okay, so she's going to do that, and I am going to do the same. I'm going to do the same with Faramir, because might as well. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll get back. We'll record those 2 and see what happens. So we rolled and Jen got a 1, so my hero combat goes first. So we have Faramir with 2 attacks and a support with 1 more, and Jen has 1 dice for her combat. It's a tie fight value, so you roll your dice. Jen gets a 2, and I get a 1, 2, and a 4. So Ranger gets backed away, roll to wound, and 5 is enough from Faramir to kill it. So Faramir will now move into combat with this, and then we'll do that one later, and then we have to do Tauriel's combat. So Tauriel's combat, Jen, if you have a look how many attacks Tauriel has, so it's A on the profile.
3.
Yep, so you roll 3 dice for Tauriel. So 5 high, and I get a 2. So what's his strength?
4.
So it'll be 4s to wound for Tauriel. 3 dice, yeah. So yep, that Ranger is dead. And now Tauriel has 6 inches of movement, so there's another combat and another Ranger supporting down here. So what you can do is either help your Sentinel or go into the spear support. Bite that and that will help your Sentinel.
To the spear.
Right, so if you move that into contact, and there we go. So we will summarise what happens in the rest of this combat phase. So with the rest of combat, I only have 1 remaining Ranger here, so if Jen is careful, she will be able to destroy this objective next turn. 1 more elf to die and it is game, and we've only got 5 minutes left anyway, so this will probably be the last turn. No more elves over this side, so I'll be able to get rid of that objective. So if Jen, if you can do me a favour and remove that objective by there and pass it to me, because it is being destroyed. So that is mine. And this elf again is fending off these 4, but shielding. And the elf fighting 3 rangers over here managed to hold himself into good account as well. So we're going into priority again. So if you roll your dice, I get so it's my priority because I rolled a 6.
I didn't.
Yeah, because you already had priority, that's what breaks it. But what you can do, if you want, you can call a heroic move with Tauriel, so you get to move first, so it stops me from blocking you from getting to the objective. Okay, so that's your last point of might. Okay, so Tauriel will move now, and the Sentinel will go with her, and that's just to stop me going into base contact with both and protecting the objective. So we're going into movement, and it's my priority for once. So Tauriel moved into combat and moved around to get to this Ranger. The Sentinel is in base contact with the objective, and Eldra Madrigal finally worked and stopped this guy from moving, these 2 moving in range to shoot at the Sentinel, because it's over 6 inches. I can't see him because he's got a cloak on. So one objective will get destroyed. This objective is safe because these guys have moved down to get him. They're on him, and Madril and a spear support, and more rangers are on this guy who's trapped. We have another trapped guy here, and Faramir is proving his dad wrong by getting an objective. So there is no shooting this turn, so we're going straight into combat, and we'll just do Tauriel's combat and see what else happened. So the combats went quite well for me again. 2 more elves drop in, and the elves didn't get any kills, but they did win a fight against Madril, and Madril didn't get wounded, luckily. So this is the final fight of the game. We got Tauriel with her 3 attacks against my Ranger, and Tauriel is out of mic, so she doesn't roll a 6. I do have a chance. So Jen rolls a 4 high, and I roll a 2. So then you roll to wound Jen. 6 and a 6 and a 3. So he is dead. So in the end phase, this objective gets destroyed by Jen, by the Sentinel. And Faramir's objective gets destroyed because he's on objective as well. So that is the last turn, and we will total up the scores. So here we have the final score. It ended 10-2. I had 6 points from destroying all 3 of the objectives. I got another 2 points for killing Legolas, and another 2 points because Jen's army is broken and I am not, and Jen got 2 at the end for destroying the objective, so it wasn't too shameful. Did you enjoy that, Jen?
Not really.
Okay, yeah, she loved it. So
It's bearable.
yeah, she said it's bearable. So obviously we'll see her down Firestorm playing a lot more now, which is good. So I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna have to pester Jen to have me another game of this because we're still in lockdown. Have been doing FaceTime battles with Flames of War, but with this game because it's a lot more fiddly, a lot more tactical with you moving, I just don't think it will work. So hope everyone's staying safe and hope you manage to get all your models painted, so there's nothing else to do. So ciao for now.